ROY LEEP's weather department kept our viewers informed about what the weather was going to be here and all over for more than 40 years. And among the many weather people who worked in Roy's department, male and female, 2 of them actually passed the 30-year mark, and one of them is here with us today. We want to bring Andy Johnson up right now. Hey, Andy.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And I want to give a special thanks to Mike Clark, who has organized this amazing event today. We are here today to celebrate a shared history, shared experiences, and dare I say, a shared destiny. I have the unique history of being a 5th generation Tampa, and my ancestors came here indirectly as a result of weather. After the opportunities presented themselves after the 1848 hurricanes basically destroyed Tampa. So it's not coincidence, but destiny. I grew up in Tampa, and I watched Roy Leep's weathercast from an early age. I could depend on him every day to tell me an accurate forecast and also to teach me a little bit about the weather. When I was a young child of 6, my mother read to me from Revelation 1:7, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him." Well, that verse sparked my interest in clouds. And I wanted to find out what's the difference between cumulus and stratus. And eventually I had a weather station, which I kept daily weather records at. But one day when a hurricane approached and waves threatened to flood our home, my curiosity about the weather turned to fear. What's causing this? How can we be safe? How can I help others understand if I find out and take away the fear that they're experiencing? Well, it turns out that one of my neighbors was a meteorologist. I played with his daughter after school in elementary school. His name was Nelson Medina, and he worked at Channel 13. He answered my weather questions. He invited me to tour the WTVT weather department and introduced me to Roy as a little kid. So at the age of 7, after seeing the impressive WTVT radar and satellite equipment, I knew what I wanted to do. Become a meteorologist and where I was going to work. WTVT, the best equipment in the country. Well, sometimes dreams do come true, and once I was there, my dream lasted 33 years. But I was just one of the many meteorologists that worked under Roy. Since Howard Shapiro is enjoying his vacation, or retirement rather, out in Arizona, I've been asked to summarize our time with Roy and take a little look back at those meteorologists that preceded us.
In the early 60s, Roy was joined by Jerry Peterson and later Pete Giddings, Nelson Medina, and Pat Wilson. By the 70s, Roy had 6 staff meteorologists to manage the growing weather department innovations, including a GO satellite earth station, color radar, lightning detection equipment, and Weather Vision, a computer system that produced the nation's first fully digital weather graphics. Roy then added something else unique to Big 13's weather department, a cute little Cairn Terrier named Scud. Some of Roy's proteges, such as Bob Breck, who helped viewers in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, ended up in distant markets, and others, like Eric Meindl, had successful careers with the National Weather Service. But those of us who stuck around to serve our viewers here in Tampa were rewarded by sharing a lifetime with wonderful and talented colleagues in all parts of the station, not just in weather. I joined the team in 1979 and spent the next 33 years learning more about the weather and adapting to the changing technology. It's kind of funny to watch yourself mature on video, but I do so with pride. One of the folks who preceded me was Howard Shapiro, who retired in 2009 after 35 years at WTVT. Howard was a TV newbie when Roy hired him in 1974, but became a staple on Breakfast Beat and at different times worked all the station's day parts. Howard was the guy who predicted snow in Tampa on January 19, 1977. Predicting snow in Tampa, well, that takes some real confidence, but Howard was proven right the following day. On cue, the crew opened the studio door, Howard made a snowball, and tossed it right at the camera. And there's another fellow who's fast approaching the 30-year mark, my colleague Paul Delgado. Paul continues the tradition set by Roy in keeping the Fox 13 Weather Department tops in the market and, in my opinion, the nation. But I'm a little biased.
And now I'd like to invite the nation's best television meteorologist to say a word or two, Mr. ROY LEEP.
Thank you, very tall. Oh, listen, think about it. We were in the golden era of television. It'll never be repeated again. And I was very fortunate to be there from the 50s through the 90s. Jane Hilton, where are you? What year did you join WTVT?
I don't remember the year I started. But I remember all the people in this room, I think.
Do you remember Redwood 61313?
No.
Well, that was the station's original telephone number. How about extension 45 in the old building? Remember that?
See, I think I've forgotten more than I remember.
That was weather. Okay, thank you, Jane. Yeah, Redwood 61313. Of course, part of that remains today, but the exchanges are all gone. Let me just start by giving a few words about Andy. Andy's not commonly known about his weather credentials. I would say that he is, without doubt, the most highly credible and credentialed meteorologist that WTVT has ever hired. Now listen to this. He was the first and only WTVT meteorologist to earn the CC Certified Consulting Meteorologist number 265 in 1985. Now this is not easy, friends. This is a certified consulting meteorologist, not a television meteorologist, in 1985. After holding the seal of approval for many years on television, he was the first WTVT meteorologist to earn the new CBM, Certified Broadcast Meteorologist, number 8 in the nation in January of 2005. Now, after 30 years in TV and with those credentials, he is one of the most sought-after forensic meteorologists in the nation. Law firms seek his expertise for major litigation caused by national weather disasters. That's Andy Johnson. When we moved into the new building, Andy was office manager in 1988. When we moved into the present building, we're still thinking of the new building. It shows around. I'll tell you folks, odds are I will not be here for the 70th, okay? So let me briefly review the national impact that I believe the WTVT Weather Service played in the history of TV weathercasting. Aside from its local achievements, by the 80s and 90s, WTVT had been the only station launching so many into broadcast meteorology with their seals of approval. There's never been another television station that has had that many make their career in WTVT. Worthy of, and I'm going to go down the list of some of who you've seen, worthy of mention in addition to Andy and Howard, and see how many you can remember now. Bob Breck, who's still working in New Orleans, Mike McCall, who's still working in Tallahassee, Jim Weber here, Howard Shapiro, Pete Giddings, Eric Mindel, chief forecaster when I was there. Eric is over here. Bill Kowal, Jerry Peterson, Nelson Medina, Teresa Varga, Douglas Kennedy, Doug Cargill, Carr Nichols, Bill Keneally, Alan Motu, Mark Schumacher, Jim Pass, and Mike Reeves. Some of these careers are still in progress and all started, get this, all started the first year at WTVT weather. I had never been in a television station until I walked into WTVT. Jack Murphy, who was a stringer from the news department, heard me on radio in WMEN in Tallahassee. And from that, I was invited to come down here in 1957. Pardon me. I'd never been in a television station before. Everything we did was pioneering. Nobody had done the things that we had done. Is that right? Yeah. Many of you know that's right. Every day was a day of pioneering, breaking new ground on doing something that they said, well, no, that's never been done. You can't do it before. So it was a real treat to live through that regime. And I cannot overlook the engineers that took active roles in the weather department. In the 50s and 60s, it was Jack King. In the 70s and 80s, it was Wally Baker. In the 90s, Mike Miller. To me, these are the unique and noteworthy ones for the station and the television industry. Thank you, and God bless you all.